Free socks.
Kumi!
I'm Kumi!
Kumi! Alright guys, so we are now currently in a bunker in Nebraska. We're not going to say the actual location, it's undisclosed. However, you may notice that there's only 3 of us tonight, and I'd just like to say a moment, pay our respects to the fallen. Lane and James have fallen to the coronavirus.
R.I.P.
Rip, bro. So joined with us today in the bunker is Lukas.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hey, man.
And in the other corner, we have Cory.
What's
happening?
the fuck out of here with that, bro.
Bro, fuck.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, bro. But you can't just be mean to me like
Fucking
that.
turn off your phone's vibration when we're streaming.
It's
sounds
in my
like someone
pocket
just
now. It's
fucking
fine.
farted.
It's fine. I'm sorry,
It sounds like
teacher.
someone fucking farted.
I shitted and farted on stream, guys. Sorry.
Who is that? Wait, who is the YouTuber who beat off on stream?
Oh, fuck. I know who you're talking about.
He was wearing a Sonic hat when he was doing it.
Yeah, like, he was fucking streaming on Twitch, and then, like, he was just beating his fucking cock, and then he looked at the camera and realized it was streaming when he was finished. He was like, oh, shit.
Like, before he recognized that, you could tell him he come.
Wait.
He fucking buzzed up that one.
Wait, there was a streamer who was beating off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God, why
like
not?
on a YouTube stream when everyone, he forgot to like shut off his camera, so everyone just saw him beating off.
Dick out, bro. Fuck it, we out here.
Yeah, he was just basically at the end, he was just like, oh shit, oopsies.
Yeah, like you can see his eyes like widen because he realized what he did.
Oh my God. What were the comments in the chat like? Like,
Oh,
atta
God.
boy. That's what I'm fucking looking
Keep
for.
tugging.
Just tugboat sounds, bro.
Alright, so I do want to talk about how the reasons of why Lane and Jones died of coronavirus. You see, we were out canvassing for Bernie in Iowa. Speaking of the Iowa caucuses, is February
Field the
3rd.
first.
DPS, it was DPS gaming. That's who it was. I found the video.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hold on. Can we watch this?
Fuck, I have to watch this in chat. Shit.
Yeah, I'm
All right,
actually
hold on.
pretty
Okay, so
curious.
what were you gonna say?
Okay,
Wait, you
so,
watching a dude beat
bro,
his
we,
dick?
canvassing for Bernie, right?
Yeah,
Right.
in
As all
Nebraska.
good people should. Well, no, we have to leave the bunker, and that's how
Yeah.
Lane and Jones got infected because they weren't wearing the 5 layers of masks that's required.
And their condoms.
Yeah, their condoms broke as well.
They
because
kept spitting in
fucking-
each other's mouths,
Like,
dude.
as soon as they saw Bernie walk by on the street, they just both came, and that's how they got infected. So, anyway, speaking of the coronavirus, that's been pretty big the past week or so. So far, there's been quarantines in China. At least 20-something countries are now infected with the coronavirus.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Shit's fucking wacky.
Funny side of that, everyone seems to think that the coronavirus is linked to Corona beer, as web searches have drastically increased on Corona beer virus.
Yeah, as long as I also noticed that there's like this meme going around.
Can I get it with some lime at least?
Yeah.
Is there a
Corona
hint
with
of
lime.
lime with that
A little bit of
SARS?
salt in there. A little bit of salt.
Oh,
We're
yeah, a
talking
little
some
bit of
good
like
drink.
bad meat and like snake as well, you know.
Oh yeah, it comes from animals, right?
Yeah, it's basically so
Yeah.
far it's been linked like to originate in Wuhan.
Yeah,
but
'cause-
it's, like, really
Because I don't know if you
exotic
guys have
animal
seen
meat
the
and
video, but there's a video of like soup, and then there's like a fucking like fried bat or whatever.
shit. Yeah, it's fucking gross.
So people were eating infected bats. I was gonna be like,
Yeah.
are they spitting? Are bats spitting in their mouths?
Yeah, dude, it's all the
Yeah.
guano in Wuhan.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude, guano gang.
Guano gang. So currently, the current cities in quarantine are just basically like areas around Wuhan. So there's Wuhan itself. Then I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct on this.
Wait, send it
Huanggang.
in the chat, and I'll try and tell you
Yeah,
how to
sure.
pronounce it the right way.
I'll send you.
I mean, you can struggle with it first, and then it'll be funnier when you see how you pronounced it wrong.
Oh yeah. So there's Wuhan, Huanggang, Ezhou, and Chiba. I think I'm not too sure.
Shiba.
Anyway, that's like around 20 million people right now under quarantine.
Yeah, they said since it was discovered, it's been about 5 million people have left the city since it first cropped
Oh
up.
yeah, I've seen like videos going on within the quarantine zone in Wuhan. Like the streets are usually just packed with cars and everything are just barren at the moment.
Yeah.
The only places that are really busy are like supermarkets and shit, like grocery stores. Like the queue line is just like packed.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. And so what didn't you say earlier that the reason it was able to spread so much was because it was during Chinese New Year that all of this?
Oh yeah, that's how it's able to spread to so many countries like so quick. The quarantine hasn't really helped anything because it's still spreading in other areas of China. It's also in Cambodia, Canada, Australia, France.
It's the holiday in Cambodia. It's tough, kid, but it's life.
It's even in Europe now too. There's been cases in France,
yeah, France,
and
Germany.
We have it here in
not
the
in
US.
Britain, no, because they got Brexit sorted.
That's kind of weird.
No, actually, the UK has been fucking getting it hard too, as well.
Yeah,
like I think there's like
joking.
100 confirmed cases. No, like shit's fucking whack.
I know, but yeah, just don't eat bats is what we're trying to say here.
Yeah, don't eat bats. If you're also if you're in an area that is at risk for fucking coronavirus, you also should note there's an unknown incubation period, so no one knows how long that you will actually have it before you're displaying symptoms. So that's why it's another reason it's so easy to spread. Symptoms. Yeah, fucking simping.
So the uni I go to today actually sent out an email. It's saying like symptoms of the coronavirus and what to do, like where to go if you have any like symptoms, because the symptoms of the coronavirus, it just mocks the common cold.
Oh yeah, it's just cold and flu symptoms.
Yeah,
because the common cold itself is a coronavirus, but the one that's from China is a different strand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cory, you mentioned this earlier, not in the podcast, but earlier before we began.
Oh
recording.
yeah. So earlier today, I had read this article about this guy in Texas who, he had gone to an urgent care, like many people in America do when they get sick. They just go to the little doc in the box, and they prescribed him the typical thing for a respiratory infection. And within like 2 weeks or so, I believe, maybe a week, he had died, and the two nurses that had treated him both were tested positive for the disease. So it's crazy, when you really think about it. How are you supposed to contain something when the mindset within most healthcare facilities is these people are overworked, they're not really thinking about these CDC implemented things. I mean, in the regions where it's an epidemic, yeah, but I think we need a stricter overall policy on it, on a global scale, because this is a serious fucking issue, dude. And I don't think it's being talked about in the extent that it should be. I mean, yeah, I think we have the tools to deal with it if it becomes a problem here, but how about we fucking institute a plan so that it's not a problem here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to do things that are not just like quarantine to help prevent it, but what's gonna end up happening is that they're just gonna do a fucking vaccine for it, probably.
Yeah, there'll probably be a vaccine in the future later on. Another thing is, it's like 70% the same as just like SARS when I was going around. Oh Jesus, what the fuck do you send in chat? Oh, okay, so the streamer we were talking about earlier, who was beating his dick, is DSP Gaming. I'm not playing the
He
video.
looks like a penguin.
He looks like Ricky Gervais.
No. He looks like the not Randall guy from Clerks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
God.
god, I know what you're talking about.
Mixed with a penguin.
Oh,
Dude,
Jesus.
Jesus.
fucking Christ.
If you go to like a minute 30, that's when he coom.
And skipping to the
Damn.
grand. At
It's like he puts his
112,
head
he's
back.
getting into it. At 112, he's getting into it. His head's starting to sway around.
Okay, look at
His
130.
neck's
Just go to
jerking.
130.
Oh no, dude, the hand is moving quick.
All right, guys. 3, 2.
Oh, his eyes got so serious.
1.
Oh, he shook. He shook. Oh yeah.
Like, look at him. Wait, we were streaming?
Oh, he's still going
Oh,
at it. He's
fuck.
trying to get the rest of it out.
I don't even know.
Wait, hold on.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know.
Oh my god.
Camera's been on the whole time. I didn't
Camera's
know.
been on the whole time, bro. Shit.
I guess everyone knows I'm a coomer. That happened like 4 years ago. I don't know what prompted me to
God.
remember that.
I think just the current news. I think it's also because the bunker right now still smells like dried cum.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Lane can't control himself. He's a very horny man.
Yeah, Lane is very horny. Well, you know what? He deserved it after we liberated the Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, he's like, I kind of like Jeff Bezos and his lazy eye.
Speaking of, if any of you guys want to understand what's going on, you can check out our Twitter and see the whole thread there. We have our entire life story there, pretty much. So back to coronavirus because we went heavily off topic. Other symptoms include, so basically a lot of it copies flu and cold-like symptoms. Just normal like fever, coughing, the normal shit. However, if you have like a worse immune system or
The shits.
yeah, if you just have a shitty immune system, like a lot of people do actually, it can lead to impaired liver and kidney function.
So
to
that's
the point of,
yeah.
it can lead to kidney failure. This is why there's a lot of deaths. Is because the kidney failure. It could also lead to pneumonia.
Can I actually go into that a little bit as someone who's a hypochondriac? So the reason that kidney failure and liver disease is a real problem with this again goes back to what I was talking about. So in the case of people who go to urgent care for this, they're presenting as someone with a respiratory infection, and these doctors are trained to deal with it as a common cold. So fucking the medicines they're giving them have high it's a high demand on the liver, especially these cough medicines and whatnot. So that's really not helping the problem at all. So, that's definitely an element of it as well that, is being understated.
Yeah, it's just shit.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, ugh. Real good question I should ask. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go first.
Well, this kind of leads me to another good question. Speaking of, because we're in the midst of the 2020 elections, Iowa caucus is coming up.
Yeah.
Which candidate do you think will single-handedly cure the coronavirus?
Well, I can tell you who's not.
Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar just has the fluoride stare, and the fluoride stare doesn't fix anything.
Just shakes it to death, honestly. I don't think she can get infected, but she certainly can't cure it.
Bro, you want to see the effects of fluoride, dude? Look at Joe Biden. His teeth are white as fuck, but his brain ain't too hot.
Yeah,
that's because he's an old fuck.
It's all that fluoride toothpaste, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's all the chemicals they put in the water.
It's turning Joe Biden's dementia ridden.
They're putting chemicals in the water.
They're putting fluoride in Joe Biden's toothpaste to dumb him down.
Well,
yeah, otherwise Biden would be the real winner here.
American dentistry is a lie, perpetuated by the Republican agenda.
Well, I'm pretty sure the next person, our next guest we're going to have on stream will have a lot to say about the
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah. This is
coronavirus and
actually-
other political issues. So stay tuned because the next episode's a big one.
Yeah, the next episode's gonna be real big. I'm not gonna spoil who the next guest is, but it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it will be probably the best thing we will have so far, and probably we will have for
However-
a while. So
I know earlier the last question was a joke, maybe to some of you, about which candidate could single-handedly cure coronavirus.
no, but I like in a non-joking manner, honestly, probably Bernie. Like, not even
Yeah.
trying to be biased. I can't even. Think,
I don't think he
'cause-
can. He can't single-handedly do it. That's why his campaign slogan is, not me, us.
Yeah. But I feel like most people would probably just say like, oh, like let's just close off the country, but like that does not like
Yeah, where are you going?
because once like diseases spread, so
here?
like illnesses spread very quickly. Like germs like reproduce so fast. Like as soon as
How
there's
is it
one
spread
case, they'll just
mostly?
like it's literally like
It's
just increase
air and
exponentially over time.
So I thought it was like mucus, and that's why people are, cough. So yeah, airborne through coughing.
Airborne
Okay.
illness, yeah. And that's why like a lot of people always wear like those surgical masks, like you see like it's going on in the quarantine videos. and
Yeah, they
shit.
got these boys out here with like 6 of them bitches on. How you even breathing?
God, for real. That's why we actually wore gas masks the entire way here to the bunker. So another thing as well I want to mention with the voting for Bernie Sanders and everything, we may not be able to single-handedly cure coronavirus. However, if we implement actual Medicare for all, we can easily treat the ones that are infected already, because especially I feel like coronavirus will rapidly expand in the US, especially because people are too afraid to go to the doctor because they just can't afford it.
Yeah, because once again, we all know what Cory thinks about healthcare.
What was that? I was intoxicated for the first podcast, so
So
I plead the fifth of Jack, bruh.
So
Hey,
you
man.
went on a tirade about the U.S. healthcare system.
Mainly,
Yeah.
talk
I don't
about how
have an
Bernie won't
answer
fix
for it.
anything, bro.
Whoa! I didn't say that. And you know what? I've done my own research on that topic. Thank you for reminding me of my drunken ramblings. Okay, so
You're welcome.
there's several people who actually offer decent, my question was, how would he pay for this plan? And, there's people who, they've given a decent argument for that maybe he can. And in that regard, I stand corrected. I do. But I don't necessarily think their ideas are fully realistic versus idealistic, in terms of implementation.
Would you like to talk about what those ideas were?
No,
just
dude,
for
I
our
watched
audience?
YouTube videos. Let's be real here. I'm not out here doing mad research right
Well,
now.
You only need to watch one YouTube
Mark my
video.
fucking words. Next podcast, I'm gonna make a spiel about this. I'm writing it down on my phone notes right now.
Shit, bro. We really
He's on
waiting for
vlog
this.
TV with his fucking hands
Oh
up.
damn! I cannot wait for you to talk about Medicare with our fucking special guest, who is so far on.
What do you boys think about the fact that a lot of people who are medical marijuana recipients, or like, they get dropped by their healthcare plans?
I think it's bullshit, genuinely,
It's bullshit.
because like.
I
even
think
though-
it's
yeah,
bullshit
it's
for
because they get
some
dropped because
cases.
it's like a federal level deal, even though it
I
shouldn't
mean,
be. It should
it's
be like,
legal. It's legal in Michigan.
Okay, now hear me out. I get it in terms of a healthcare like an insurance provider standpoint in some cases, such as like bullshit kids out here literally just abusing the system. But when you have case studies that prove that, high CBD marijuana strains can literally be 10 times more effective in treating epileptic kids than fucking anti-epileptic medicines that currently are on the market, it's a no-brainer what we need to be doing, considering CBD literally doesn't even get you high.
Well, this is where like we can talk about as well, like
And I think anyone who drops a kid or like a family who has the ability, anyone who feels that that's the right decision is a piece of shit morally and should not be able to sleep with themselves
yeah,
at night.
exactly. Like that's another thing that we could talk about is big pharma. That's basically just like they're like the main like people are against it. or against medical marijuana or even recreational marijuana is because that'll take away from profits from prescribed drugs, like they're more man-made and not, marijuana. Not to sound like a Wynot there, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because privatization, it's no secret that the privatization of American healthcare has priced a lot of people out of any sort of decent treatment. And
Kaczynski, shit.
Martin Shkreli comes to mind.
The big pharma revolution and its consequences.
So I forgot what we were talking about because they thought of fucking Martin Shkreli.
Healthcare.
Healthcare, yeah, healthcare, yeah. And it was the way big pharma reacts to medicinal marijuana. So, I mean, I don't. It's a tough subject because I don't really think about it because medicinal marijuana has always been legal.
Here, it actually back in 2018, it just got legalized for us, and there's
it's never been an issue here. So I'd never really thought about it, but yeah, I have nothing to say, honestly.
This is a lot of fucking dead shit I have to cut out at the end for editing.
Yeah.
So, another thing I do want to touch on for medical marijuana is I did mention it just passed. Oh, the camera's on.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh?
Lukas, holy shit!
I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty fucking good, dude.
Oh yeah, it's epic. Jesus Christ, fucking Slack just went off now, and I have to fucking turn that off. God damn it.
Oh, I fucking hate Slack.
Me too,
Dude,
but I have
editing
to use
exists
it
for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of Slack, what? Hold on, where's
You said the fucking straight voice.
So going back to candidates that will single-handedly cure coronavirus, I think the candidate that will provide the least amount of help would be Pete Buttigieg.
I think actually any corporate Democrat will be
any corporate show.
Because they'd be like, "Oh, Big Pharma, save us!" Yes, I can. $500 a pill.
Jesus Christ.
And then everybody will just cross the border into fucking Canada so they can get free meds.
It's coronavirus.
You know what? Back to Big fucking Pharma. Actually, finish. Go, Lukas.
Go ahead. No. One of you.
Okay, back to
you go
fucking
first.
Big Pharma, bro. What's fucked up about it is I read a story today about a woman who fucking works 2 jobs part-time because she can't get a full-time job at anywhere she's applying to. Probably, my idea would probably be like, some type of impoverished, socioeconomic, fucking predisposed notion people in that area have about people of, whatever. Anyway, so this lady has kids and she's also diabetic. She works 2 jobs, and I think she might actually work full-time at McDonald's for one of them, but they don't offer her health insurance. So she doesn't have a health insurance plan. She has to pay for her kids, she has to pay for her housing, and she has to pay for food and, transportation, insurance, not insurance, she can't afford it. What's the problem here? She can't literally she has to choose between groceries and diabetes medicine because she can't get insurance.
This is why we need Bernie Sanders.
And, it's not even just about that. Why aren't there more fucking... Exactly. It's not even just about that, though. Why isn't there more fucking government programs in place, like GoodRx and whatnot, that offer people that have problems like this a solution or a fucking payment plan or something?
That's
Jesus
the whole discussion.
Christ. Don't let people die.
It is Big Pharma. It is just the private health companies, the insurance companies, everything. It all goes against us because they're more worried about capital. This is why I believe in Bernie Sanders' campaign.
And that's the problem with us as Americans. We try to get jobs that give us health insurance plans, but then we complain about not good health insurance plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Why-
would you?
why-
Okay, but it's the age-old question. Would you rather have a job that pays say 90, like a $90,000, like $90K salary, but you get no benefits, or you take $65K, but you get insurance?
Yeah, that's why some people become a teacher, dude, because the benefit package is unreal.
Exactly. But
But pay
the
more people
to
healthcare
join the-
issue is something that will not take a single presidency 4 or 8 years to change. It'll have to take at least a decade or two.
I do think there is a solution. You know, it's not necessarily a solution that, you know, everyone's going to be with, but at the end of the day, you know, you can enlist if you really, really have to.
No, that actually brings me to another point as well. That is another reason that, like, the military tries to boost recruiting, is because they know, like, people that are completely disenfranchised, that have no chance of a future because of how fucked their economic system is. Like, they can't go to college because they'll just be in debt for the rest of their lives. They can't fucking get their shit fixed with, like, their health problems. So the
You give 'em
government
4
knows
years,
that.
bro.
Corporations know that. And do you know where they're fucking? Do you know where they can send them? The military. The military
prison,
provides
bro.
that shit. Yeah, it's military or prison. It
Yeah, those
genuinely
are the
is.
two
That's
complexes.
why it's fucked. Like, the entire system revolves around that. And that's why I believe in I think it's Anthony Clark who's running for Congress. Like, this dude,
Tom
you know,
Steyer.
like, he genuinely believes that
Gang
basically
shit.
just this kind, you know, this disenfranchisement, basically being forced to go into the military if you want to have any chance out, is basically the draft, in a way, if you really think about it.
Yeah, but this is just not a thing that will be fixed in a matter of a term or two. This is going to be because as you all know, American presidential like party things, it just fucking yo-yos back and forth.
Oh, completely.
Because literally, it's been since Reagan. It's been 8 years of a Democrat. I mean, 8 years of a Republican, and then H.W. Bush was the exception.
Really a yo-yo either. It's just the same shit, different party. And this is why I'm genuinely, like, excited for a Bernie presidency, because this will be the furthest, like, more like the actual.
But what's to
left
say?
that we
What's
can
to say
actually
the
get
House
to
and the
in the
Senate won't
US.
prevent him from doing anything?
Exactly. That's why he said this before, like, it's an entirely grassroots campaign. Like, pretty much he wants the people to be with him, like, the entire way. That's the entire point of his slogan, not me, us. I mentioned this earlier.
Not
Like,
me.
Every single, like, bit of anything that he'll try to do will be immediately contested. Hell, even this election, there's a big chance, you know, like, the DNC right now is working completely against him.
100%. They don't want him.
Like, we have
at all.
such a thin window, like, just a thin margin, just to even actually get him into the presidency, just to even get him nominated, you know? Like,
Yeah.
That whole thing. This is a constant fight. When he is president, it'll be a constant fight. We have to be ready for that. We have to be vigilant. It's only going to get more difficult, but this is pretty much the only way we can actually get what we want. Like, either way this election goes will change the fucking face of American history. In general. Like, it should.
In general?
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, the word, like, genuinely, or, like, in general, you know.
Well, ingenuine would be, like dishonest.
Yeah. Like, no, like genuinely,
You combine
this
the
will
two.
this will change American history either way, for the best or for the worst.
Yeah.
Like, if Trump gets elected, it's gonna be same old neoliberal fucking shit until we all die of an inevitable heat death. If Bernie gets elected, this is our only chance to even make it out alive.
Or it'll just be, or with the if it's
that's
a
hot
corporate,
take, bro.
if it's a Biden, it's a Warren, it's gonna be same shit. It's gonna be different shit, same smell.
No, Warren doesn't even have a chance at this point. I'm pretty sure, like, her campaign, if it falls completely under, she's going to endorse Biden or Klobuchar. And then Klobuchar will drop out to endorse Biden. Like, it's all going to go into Biden or Buttigieg or Klobuchar. Like, it's either of those guys versus Bernie.
Pete Buttigieg against Trump would be like when fucking
Well, not according to him.
Walter
on
F.
MSNBC.
Mondale ran against fucking Reagan.
Did you see the MSNBC thing where he just straight up lied and said he was the only one with a chance to beat Trump?
Who beat?
Yeah, and then he also said like Bernie is fucking taking dark money so people can bully him on Twitter. Like, holy fuck. Like, in all honesty, it's probably the fucking other way.
Oh, it is.
Like, they're not fucking taking this out on social media either. Like, nah. The fucking left wing has that completely under fucking wraps. Like,
Speaking
they're
of
gonna do
CNN,
everything they can to fucking, like, just hurt him in the election, in the primaries, anything. They're gonna do anything possible. I'm pretty sure if Bernie got fucking nominated, they would do everything to help Trump. They fucking would.
Here comes my question, boys. If you had to pick one candidate, Republican, so Donald Trump or Democrat, one candidate to get absolutely shit-faced with, who would it be?
Bernie fucking Sanders.
No,
I'm going
honestly,
with Amy Klobuchar.
can we
Dude.
do-
She looks like she has some really good meth.
No. Can we do former candidate?
Yeah.
Marianne Williamson.
Oh, amen.
No,
the fucking orbs, dude.
No, this
Dude,
is why
dude.
I wish
George
Marianne
W.
was
Bush,
still...
dude.
No. I mean, just from this election cycle, because like
Oh,
Marianne
yeah.
Williamson was like the perfect candidate to like. If she was still in the race at this point, it would have been so funny for us to
Could you
talk
just
about the
fucking
coronavirus.
imagine like her being vice president under Bernie, dude? That'd be so fucking good.
All of our
Dude, I would
chakras
go
would be aligned.
Yes, align
Tulsi
those
Gabbard,
chakras.
bro. That bitch finna buy all the fucking alcohol. She got that $50 million lawsuit against the Clintons. You hear me?
So, speaking of my earlier rant in support of Bernie Sanders, let's say it goes the other way. Let's say Trump wins.
been on the whole time,
Let's say a
huh?
different guy is nominated and wins. Basically, anybody but Bernie Sanders. It's doomsday. And now I want to talk about a recent report. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists have moved the doomsday clock closer to the midnight than it's ever been. It is now at 100 seconds to midnight.
Lukas, you okay, bro?
This doomsday clock is so fucking stupid. All right.
How the fuck do we know? You know what I'm saying?
No, okay, so this doomsday clock is literally like it's just a measure of like
How close we are to fucking dead.
yeah, but the thing about it is it's literally been at what has it been at? But before like put
The furthest it's
100
ever
seconds
been is like 17 minutes, I think, in like the 90s.
Okay, so this doomsday clock is so fucking stupid. Literally. So I don't even like this is ludicrous
Go on,
because this doomsday clock it's why are you using it's so dumb because it doesn't do shit because they literally say, oh, this is the way the world is going and this is how close we are to getting fucked up. Has anything ever happened? What's the point of it existing? Just saying, okay, we're this close to shit being really fucking bad, but nothing bad ever happened.
So,
because all the problems that are gonna happen that are like important now, like climate change, like other political stuff, it's good. Like no one knows like when it's gonna take a drastic turn. So having a clock that's just like fuck it, oh, we're 100 seconds away, and then it literally just is a. It's just a measure of nothing. It's bullshit.
nah,
It's
I don't think it's like a legitimate measurement. It's more of
no,
along the
it's like
lines of
it's sort of like
hey, guys, we're like getting close to like being fucking annihilated if we don't do anything to fucking fix like any current situation we have right now. I think that's
I know,
what it's more
but
about. Go on.
It's just so like rudimentary.
Yeah, I get what you mean though. So I am gonna read a little bit from sciencemag.org about their little article about this, written January 23rd. I'm sorry, I'm bad at reading. doomsday clock is reset to 100 seconds until midnight. Closest ever.
The camera's been on the whole time, huh?
The biggest like things that are highlighted about this are information warfare and looming space arms race are among the emerging threads.
Space arms race.
Shut the
fuck up.
Then there's also like the side note about climate change, but you know,
climate change is a more important issue than fucking space ops. Like we're not gonna fucking like no one's gonna give a fuck about fucking plasma.
Oh boy, the looming space arms race. Are they talking about the fucking Star Trek knockoff?
Dude, the new
Wait,
Star
what's
Trek
the
thing came out, dude.
space operation
I heard it's
thing
shit.
called?
Picard, is it? Fuck.
Yeah, I've heard it is. Like basically,
God
there's just a lot of
damn it.
fucking like, it's completely like, it has a lot of like plot holes and shit.
You
that,
picking
like,
your brain, big boy?
Yeah. It just fucking destroyed it. God damn, I don't know how to fucking word this. There's a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies
Where should I get
between it and
Jigglypuff
Next
tattooed
Generation.
on my body, guys?
Yes.
Where?
Yeah.
On your ass cheek.
I'm honestly, that was what I was gonna say. Angry Jigglypuff on my left ass cheek, bro.
Go for it, bro.
I
Alright,
really
but-
think here's the backfire to that though. Say I ever go to jail, I would definitely be the laughing stock of the people who get raped in jail. Because they'd be like,
Okay.
that boy got
We
a
don't have to
jiggle.
talk about prison rape.
Or they'd just be like, ooh, I'm trying to make your I'm trying to puff them jiggles, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, no! No,
Yeah, plus you're
Dad!
like 5'6" too, so it doesn't really help your chances.
Manlit
Manlit.
spotted.
Bro.
Hate to call you out like that, but it's true.
What do you call it when you spit on their manlit?
Hey, you know
What
what?
do you
At
call
least
it?
A monsoon.
Oh, shit. Got him.
Got you. No, but the doomsday clock has always just been stupid to me.
I
Like,
agree.
just-
It's
like
funny how
I
much you laughed
understand
at
like trying
it.
to like say like how close we are to getting fucked, but you can literally just tell by like global affairs that we're like
Yeah,
how
why
close we
can't you
are.
just say how fucking close? Why you gotta get a
I
big
think
old
it's
clock?
supposed to be, like, a
Let's pull
measure-
this clock and
It's
like,
supposed to
let's
be a
have
measure for like Joe Rogan fans who don't actually read the news or anything, or
Oh,
even try to
like,
fucking learn
just
anything.
the
So it's
dumbest
just like,
people
hey guys,
in the world can
No,
understand.
what do you guys
Yeah,
think about Joe
it's just-
Rogan endorsing Bernie? Because that probably pissed off all of his fucking like.
oh, like it's not even
Stupid ass
that. Like,
fucking, like,
I think a lot of
fan
his like
base.
supporters aren't actually like right wing. I think a lot of them are just like they're like the common American. They really
Yeah.
don't know a whole lot. They consider themselves moderate, but they have no fucking clue what like they want to vote for or like who to vote
Yeah.
for. So I think endorsing Bernie is really good.
Yeah, but people are like saying like, oh, fucking Joe Rogan's transphobic. Like this tells you what a
Yeah,
Bernie
I see this a
supporter
lot
is
on
like.
Twitter as well, and like
Well, Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter's a fucking. Twitter's just a fucking circle jerk at this point.
yeah, it's a massive circle jerk. But like at the same time, like with that, with Joe Rogan himself,
Like,
it's not
it'll
that- I
take
don't think
whatever
that
it
he's like
gets at this
he's
point.
like I read this somewhere. Like it's not that he's fucking like blatantly transphobic or like just fucking like hates trans people or any other thing on the list. It's like I think it's more along the lines that he's uninformed.
And
Yeah.
it's just like engraved in his
So, like,
mind. Like
Honestly,
his-
like him endorsing Bernie is good because that's like such like a huge outreach too to so many like moderate
Yeah.
type Americans who don't really know who to vote for. So like giving them like Bernie Sanders gives us so much of an advantage as well. Like there's also like other things of like other candidates in the Democratic side like have been trying to get it like on Joe Rogan
Mhm.
and like he's pretty much just like denied all of
Nope.
them.
So the funny thing is, I feel like his main demographic of his audience is like high school stoner kids.
Oh,
High
yeah.
school stoner
Dude.
kids and like high school stoner kids and like typical like college frat
So,
boys
yeah,
basically.
100%,
So, like,
dude.
jocks and
Literally.
stoners.
Like, literally, all my fucking friends in high school are like, bro, let's smoke DMT because Joe Rogan's, like, on some shit, bro. And I'm like, you know what? Never mind. No comment on that. But yeah, dude, like, all my homies were, like, out here on that shit, fucking, because old boy Joe, you know, shout out Joe, represent, but, you know, you're corrupting the youth, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
But MMA aight, bro, so you cool.
But no,
Yeah,
like, Joe Rogan.
I see you, Joe. I see you. Fear factor. That
All
man
right,
has
so-
a fucking
All right,
portfolio.
Lucas,
Okay,
go.
I'm done. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so this is where this is Doomsday Clock originated from. Founded in
Oh,
1945 by University of Chicago students who had helped develop the first atomic weapons in the Manhattan Project. The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists created the Doomsday Clock two years later, using the imagery of apocalypse at midnight and the contemporary idiom of nuclear explosion countdown to zero to convey threats to humanity and the planet. The decision to move or to leave in place the minute hand of the Doomsday Clock is made every year by the Bulletin's Science and Security Board in consultation with its board of sponsors, which includes 13 Nobel laureates.
Oh,
The clock
shit.
has become a universally recognized indicator of the world's vulnerability to catastrophe from nuclear weapons, climate change, and disruptive technologies in other domains. So basically, it's just a measurement meter of
how fucked we are.
Yeah, like how close we are to becoming fucked or unfucked.
Yeah, basically. And let's see. Like,
How
that's basically
many?
the
How many
Doomsday Clock.
laureates, dude?
13 Nobel laureates.
What the fuck?
Which,
Yeah, it's a
like,
big board.
but like
big boards.
for me, like the Doomsday Clock means about as much as like astrology. Like it's cool to look into, but really, it doesn't hold much significance.
Yeah, I
boy
wouldn't
hit
like actually
astro-
like fucking see the Doomsday Clock as like of something of like actual scientific political value. It's
Yeah,
more
it's just
along
sort
the
of like
lines
it's
of,
just a
what
symbolic type of deal.
Yeah, it's what it represents, not what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back to our earlier thing with the Joe Rogan endorsement. It's good.
Gang.
It's just
It is good.
It's
It is good.
I don't personally,
It's
I'm not a
just
fan
good.
of his.
It's just
I'm not a
good.
fan of his, but
It's good, dude.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing as before the UK election, as Stormzy shouting out, like just saying, "Hey, go and vote," because it's still gonna like most people who are pretty like apolitical will be like, "Oh,
Joe
if
Rogan
someone,
said Bernie
if
good.
someone who I idolize, like, you know, someone who's like a main like value, like as someone I value for like entertainment and stuff like that, if they're telling me to do something, I may as well do it, you know."
Oh yeah.
So, like it's basically like it's one of those things that are like any press is good press at this point.
Yeah, you know, fuck yeah, I completely agree.
Oh hell yeah. Like that's kind of something I feel like the Democratic Party has like not understood like since Trump got elected is any press is good press for most part.
Yeah,
like,
because
Trump pretty much used that to get as much airtime as possible, and it fucking
because he would
worked.
literally just do outlandish shit on purpose just so he would get to just so his outreach.
And it worked.
Expand. It did work.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Shit, I've been watching
feller.
Fox News and I've been seeing this stuff about Donald Trump.
They know, man.
Shit, I might as well just vote for the bastard.
All right.
What
So
could go wrong with that?
I think that brings us to a good ideology that I wanted to talk about today and the reading series I have planned for everybody. So as you mentioned before, Trump supporters, and they're just like, "Oh boy, he said damn thing about them Mexicans."
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, so
I
we
wanna
have a
dig into
segment.
that. I'd like to dig into that mindset today.
Yep.
So I have a little present for everybody here. I have a hard copy of my town's local newspaper, quote unquote.
Oh hell yeah.
What happened is the actual newspaper closed down a few years ago just because we broke. So this boomer conservative type guy made his own on like 11 by 17 copy paper that's folded over, so it's like, you know, like normal copy paper size. It's called the Paper Rag. And I like to start off with just saying none of the news given on this is cited. There's zero sources. Hell, it's barely even like grammar checked or anything. So there's a lot of spelling errors. So if like I stutter or something while reading this, that's the reason why. Not all because I stutter or anything to begin with.
Make sure to do your most yeehaw voice possible when you're reading this.
God, I can't hold that for long. However,
If you want me to, you can just like take a quick screen cap and I'll read it in my best Southern voice.
oh god, no, I got this.
Attaboy.
Yeehaw, feller. All right. So,
No,
roll
here,
tide.
Boy, let me tell you something. I've been
story
watching that Fox
begins.
News lately, and I've been thinking about those Mexicans stealing our jobs. And I think that Donald Trump will guide America in the right direction. And that
Shit,
he
now I
will-
don't even have to read this. You just got it spot on.
Let me tell you something about these abortion folks. I've read the Bible a couple times, and I think that it's morally abject. Oh, that's too big of a word.
Okay.
I think it's morally fucked up that people will get rid of a baby.
No,
like
no,
that.
they're good Christians. That's morally, you don't love
And those-
Jesus.
And those
Oh
stupid Democrat cooks think that they can abort them babies. I don't think
All
so.
right.
They're scrap.
I don't think so.
Well, fellers, let's start with the paper rag. First page. It starts with a little poem. This guy loves to rhyme, I want to point out. Nancy Pelosi's house. This was written back in December. Basically, this is released monthly. And
this
new
is like
cycle
Boomer
hasn't come
Dr.
out.
Seuss.
Oh yeah, the new one hasn't come out yet, so I'm waiting. This is till like most news from December. So it starts with Nancy Pelosi's house. Nancy Pelosi, yeah, it's Nancy Pelosi's house because he fucking spelt it wrong. All right, so they finally achieved their 3-year ploy. They impeached President Donald J. Trump with glee and joy. On December 18th, they finished their idiotic deed, with Pelosi's liars Schiff and Nadler on the lead. And yes, I know it's Nadler, but like, it's spelled
Nadler.
fucking dumb in this. The circus in the house could not prove that a crime
Cory
wasn't
in the
committed, like
house.
bribery, extortion, or quid pro quo. I want to also fucking shout out that extortion on this is spelled EXTORSION.
Extortion.
Extortion.
All right, so the crime that a crime was committed, like bribery, extortion, or quid pro quo. So abuse of power and obstruction of Congress was their big blow.
Got him.
Fucking got him, dude. The first week in December started with Kamala Harris putting a plug on her run for the White House, blaming the public on her demise. I like how they say that like she's just straight up fucking dead now. The 9 more women accused Jeffrey Epstein of sexually molesting them, thus filed suit against his estate. Then rich presidential contender Bloomberg apologized to Booker, also a president wannabe, for giving him a compliment. And then the mainstream media attacked Melania Trump and naming the president's son Barron. After all, they are not royalty.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
is this
God.
what people are fucking mad about?
Jesus Christ, dude.
But the big story of the first week of December is when Pelosi and the Democrats of the House, blinded by hate for Trump, announced December 5th, we are moving forward with impeachment. When reporter James Rosen asked Pelosi why she hates Donald Trump, she replied angrily that she does not hate President Trump. Using her fingers, she proclaimed, I don't hate anybody. Don't mess with me with words like this. I'm a Catholic and I pray every day for the president.
Oh my God.
Lying,
What's the source
like
on
hate.
it?
Wait, hold on. Lying, like hate, is also a sin. As Speaker of the House, she affiliates herself with, works with, and not only approves and supports, but praises the likes of Adam Schiff and Jeffrey Nadler. Democrats who definitely despise and hate the president and helps them impeach him for nothing. But does she not hate him? Well, there's a little poem that I fixed for the better. Are you guys ready for more rhyming?
Yes.
Oh no.
Doubt that the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun does move. Doubt truth to be a liar. But never doubt Nancy Pelosi hates President Trump. And that's the first page, and I'm just gonna cut it there for now because holy fuck, it goes on.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous. That's just so fucking ridiculous. I have no words. That's honestly, I can't.
Oh, there's also
nothing
like
I
a
can
little
say.
comic thing that he just fucking ripped off somebody else. Like, I just also want to point out there's a lot of pictures in this. Like the picture on the front is a picture of Nancy Pelosi that he probably took from his TV and then stretched it out. So like her face is just really fucking warped. Another comic
I
that he
remember what I was gonna
stole
say.
as well is like a newscaster guy saying 10 people were killed and 52 wounded in Chicago over the weekend. Be on the lookout for any suspicious Confederate flags. Bro, fucking got him, dude.
I remember what I was gonna say. So I'm walking around campus as I do, and then people usually like to hand stuff to you. They like to say, "Oh, why don't you donate here? Why don't you do this? Why don't you sign your name?" Petition, blah blah, all that shit. So people were handing out these comics, but these were not any ordinary comics.
Are they chick tracts?
No, these are like Christian comics that like tell you to be loyal to your faith.
Oh my god.
So
So these are not chick tracts?
no, wait, check what. Send me what that name is because I've never heard that before.
Hold on, I think I have a.
And then I'll Google it and see what I can find. But so it's just this guy, and he's like, and then it's just some narrators talking to this guy in this comic strip, and he's like, "Have you ever committed a sin before?" And the guy's like, "Oh no, it's not that."
Here, I put an example in the group chat for you.
No, that's not it.
But
it's this guy, and he's like, it's like, "Hey, are you a good person?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like to think I'm a good person." And he's like, "Have you ever told a lie?" And he's like, "Can you tell me what a liar is?" And it's like someone who doesn't tell the truth, blah blah blah. And then it's like, then the guy in the comic responds with the narrator. He says, "Have you ever stole something before?" And then the guy responds, "Well, no." And then the next slide is really just, "But you just told me what a liar was."
Got him, dude.
Got
him.
That's fucking great.
So it's literally like a guy just like saying like, "Oh, what sins? Like, do you ever use the Lord's name in vain? That's a sin. Have you ever lusted someone? That's a sin." And it's literally like, "You broke 4 of the 10 commandments." Blah blah blah. And then there's the last thing they put on the comic was the guy pointing to Hitler, a member of the KKK, an effigy of Saddam and a terrorist. And
Oh
the guy
God.
says, "Well, I'm a saint compared to these guys."
Oh my god.
What the fuck? That's
What the
epic.
fuck?
Oh, it's so bad. But that's what it reminds me of. Just like people who are way out of their element and don't understand like actual things that are
Anything.
going on.
Oh, exactly. Hold on. I want to see. There's something else in here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I can't find it anymore. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Just moral of the story is, I think a lot of these people are just uneducated. Like, not like uneducated, like, "Oh, I didn't finish school," but like they just like they just never really learned anything politically except for like what Fox News tells them, or Tucker Carlson.
Oh my
It's
God.
fucking Tucker Carlson.
Fucking Tucker Carlson.
The Tucker.
I love it whenever he has like the fluoride stare thing where he just always looks with his mouth open. Because every time he's on the news and someone else he literally just sits there with his and then he just with that like the fucking thing where he's squinting too.
Well, did you know that Tucker Carlson, like Tucker's actual is his middle name?
What's his first name?
It's Richard.
This is his face. Hold on.
Fucking
What are you getting in the
Tucker
chat?
Carlson, bro.
Like Tucker Carlson fluoride stare.
Oh my
Like
God.
the thing he does with his eyebrows, and,
Yeah.
like his mouth is always like that when someone
Like, I
else is
like how he
talking.
just always looks agitated.
Genuinely
Like-
terrifying.
Like a mix of like agitated, confused, and just like he's just shitting at the same time.
He's shitting.
Like,
Like,
that's like
that's
the
the,
face
like-
you make when you fucking shit, dude.
No, that the face Tucker Carlson makes like when someone talks. is the face someone makes when you're driving slow and then they cut you off, and then when you look at what they look like, that's the face they make at you.
Son of a bitch.
Like you just look to your right and you see some guy in his fucking 2004 Ford Ranger. And he just gives you the Tucker Carlson stare.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah, he learned it from Tucker Carlson himself, dude.
Boy, I've been driving my Ford Ranger and it uses 50 gallons of gas. We really need to shut the fuck up about saving the environment. I'm doing my part. Fucking
I heard you millennials eat Tot Pods, snort condoms. You know, they did the same, the unoriginal joke.
Yeah. The Apache helicopter gender
Oh
joke.
yeah, dude, the best fucking.
That's
the
old
best
reliable. That's
one,
like the old
dude.
reliable.
And then like you ask them like, man, do you know any other jokes? And then they just respond with, like, you know, the fucking the thing that like 9-Volt tweeted. I know more jokes than you have genders.
Oh
And then
my
like
God.
9-Volt just responded with, that's the same joke.
It's the same joke. Yeah, but yeah, they're just not. I wouldn't say they're uneducated
But
or
they are.
like not necessarily
But they are.
misinformed. They're just like hideously biased.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
I agree
Anything
with
that has
that.
like darker skin than them is scary, honestly.
Oh my goodness! Don't even start me on this.
Whoa.
No,
But-
no. Let's do this. This is gonna be.
No, we're not
fun-
doing this. We've been going for
no.
nearly an hour.
Oh damn! Yeah, we are like 56 minutes in.
Yeah, so let's start to wrap it up a bit. Local
No.
news.
Okay, yeah, local news hour. So I kind of already did mine with the fucking newspaper series. I'm copping that one out there. Cory, give us
Yes.
some local news, bro.
Okay, so dude, I don't know, bro.
All right, I'll just go ahead.
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead, jump in. Save 'em.
Well, a couple. Oh, excuse me. I just burped. Let's see. A day or two ago, an Iranian graduate student was set to attend Michigan State University as a graduate student, and she got detained and deported.
Bro, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yep, she was approved for a student visa, and they still deported.
That's so fucked. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fucked up, man.
Yep. Well, that's my local news. Sorry it wasn't a bit funny, but
Nah,
Yeah.
I get it. News isn't always meant to be funny. Like,
yeah.
we
But
try to be
I want
funny
to
in
find
this
some funny one. Like there's
podcast.
there's some crime watch stuff from my my old local newspaper.
My old
one of the
Lucas.
crime. One of the crime watch things they published was man spotted pouring bleach in neighbors flower pot
What the fuck?
and
God,
garden.
that is like the
And
most
that was
heinous
literally-
crime going on in Detroit right now.
Like this is what they've been talking about in the news. Yeah. So Cory, do you have any local news that you want to have an addendum? we gonna start wrapping up?
Did I tell you anything about local news, Avery?
Just tell us some wacky facts going on in your life. It doesn't have to be like.
Okay,
the
so
news here.
there's a hotel that fucking collapsed in the downtown area,
What?
and
Was it like abandoned at least?
No, they're working on it actually.
fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's in
and
progress type of deal.
and some people died. They weren't able to even recover like all the bodies from it and whatnot. And then it's just really fucked up. So they had this hotel under construction. It's a popular restaurant chain that was doing a hotel as well. And I don't know how many months it was under construction for, but it was going up pretty solid. And then the other day I was actually downtown, and like it was just like really tall up in the air. I'm not exactly sure how many stories, but I saw it the night before it collapsed. You know, thank God I wasn't like fucking there, dude. That would have sucked.
Yeah,
you know?
bro.
So it fell, and like a bunch of businesses were closed down for a couple days. So pretty sure there's a bunch going on with that. It's still shut down, part of that part of the city, so, which is a huge problem for people, because they got to get to work on time. So it's just been a huge pile of it's been a piece of shit, dude.
Shit.
But it shut down businesses, bro. Like, what the
I'd
fuck?
assume it would. Holy
They
fuck.
couldn't find people's bodies. Like, they just it's been like a month or two since that happened. They're just finding bodies like under tarps of it and shit. Because
Oh,
there's so
God.
much like shit going into it right now. Like, I don't know, man. It's just an absolute shit show.
Yeah, that's fucking depressing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh well.
Speaking of, actually,
I'm not feeling too good right now, guys.
but before we start dying,
no, bro.
before we start dying, I just want to also mention this week has been laced with a lot of death. I think we have to talk about our Lord and Savior who recently passed away, Kobe Bryant.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Kobe. I mean, let's be honest. Most people who didn't even care about sports knew who Kobe Bryant was, because he's like, he is a generational person. Like, love him or hate him, everyone knows who he is. He's an inspiration to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Like, saw like the loss of like that magnitude was going to be felt. Like the whole, like literally Sunday, as soon as like the whole nation pretty much stopped. Because
it really did.
He's just a major person. He's a generational, like literally, like most of the country idolized this person, or at least knew who Kobe was.
Like, dude, there's always there's that whole generation of kids that would fucking ball up a piece of paper, yell Kobe.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
His legacy will live on forever through every single fucking paper trash can basketball shot till I die. You know what I'm saying?
To literally just throwing anything, just yelling fucking Kobe.
There's a petition. Boosie Badass, the rapper, and several others have a petition to change the NFL logo
the
to
NBA one.
the NBA. NFL, dude. Let's change the NFL one to Kobe. Oh yeah, totally.
That'd be so sick, dude.
Yeah, fuck football.
All right, but all that aside, rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, for real, dude. It's a sad day.
Rest in peace.
And it's not just him. It's everyone that.
Oh fuck, guys! I have some bad news to share. I think we're exposed, boys. We got coronavirus.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Jones kissed me before he died.
Dude.
You're the guy. You're the kind of
in my
fucking
mouth,
dude. You're the fucking dude to fucking get bit by a zombie in a movie and not tell the rest of the people.
Yeah, guys,
That's
I'm sorry,
fucking
but
mean, bro.
Jones gave me a little smoochie before he
A
passed away.
smoochie.
Yeah, but if we manage to get cured, our next podcast will have a very special guest.
Yeah.
We think you'll enjoy it.
Vote for Bernie.
Stay tuned. Rip Kobe.
Rip Kobe, vote Bernie.